It seems as though nothing can separate the new wave of rappers from their guns. From their music videos to their social media posts, rappers are always flexing their firearms. Well, with guns all around them, they are bound to use them. And sometimes, they are captured on camera shooting at their ops. These are 8 rappers' wild shootings caught on camera. King Von. On November 6, 2020, King Von had just left Opium nightclub after successfully releasing his first album, Welcome to O Block. His entourage, which consisted of 3 armed security guards and close to 15 of his hood guys from O Block, were ready to go back to their Airbnbs and call it a night. However, there was one problem. King Von was nowhere to be seen. Just then, King Von's manager, Jameson Francois, alias 100K Track, got a phone call from Von's DJ, who was concerned that they were alone. Turns out Von had gone to a different club, the Monaco Hookah Lounge, without security. What was the point of going to Opium nightclub with an entourage of about 25 vehicles only for you to go to another club without them? And to make matters worse, you failed to notify your manager or security regarding your whereabouts. It just did not make sense. It was unlike Von to make such security blunders. Well, Track and the rest of Von's entourage got into their vehicles and headed to the new spot. When the rest of the guys got to Von's location, the story got even more weird. Seeing that Von had a head start, everyone thought that he was already in the club. To their surprise, Von had been in the car for almost 30 minutes. Track then ordered his security to conduct routine security checks to ensure that it was safe for them to get inside. They had a look inside the club as well as the back and assured Track that everything was fine. Just as Von was about to exit his vehicle and head to the club, one of his homeboys came up to the driver's side and notified him that he had just seen fellow rapper Quando Rondo in the parking lot. In a split second, Von was out of the car and heading toward Quando's direction. Quando was now on his way to the club. Von, with a few members of his crew behind him, proceeded to attack him, knocking him to the ground. Von's guys joined in and started raining blows on Quando as he tried in vain to get away from his attackers. In a split second, one of Quando's homeboys, who was later identified as Lil Tim, appeared from behind their vehicle with a gun in hand and started letting off shots as everyone ran away. Von was hit on his torso. According to Von's manager, who was also shot in the process, everyone ran away because Lil Tim was not the only shooter that night. Lurking in the cover of darkness were 2 off-duty cops who started shooting towards the crowd once Lil Tim opened fire. Amidst the confusion, 2 of Von's guys ran towards the cops' direction and were also shot dead. Lil Tim was also shot by the cops who saw him as a threat. After the dust settled, Von's guys pulled up next to him and loaded him into the vehicle before speeding to the nearest hospital. Lil Tim limped into their vehicle with Quando Rondo and drove to the hospital as well. As fate would have it, the 2 groups ended up in the same hospital. Luckily, there was no more violence. Sadly, Von passed away during surgery. When day broke, the authorities put out a statement saying, "During the shooting incident, 6 men were shot during the group altercation and officer encounter. Bennett and 2 men died as a result of their injuries, and 3 were injured and are being treated at a hospital." Although Quando Rondo was arrested and charged for murder, the charges were dropped as it was later determined that he acted in self-defense. Pooh.
Broad daylight bullets. 2 hit. Over $500,000 in exotic cars. And it involves a recording artist, Pooh.
On that fateful day in Miami-Dade County, Florida, Pooh, along with other individuals, found themselves embroiled in a harrowing ordeal outside the Landon Hotel in Bay Harbor Islands. What started as a seemingly innocent transaction for sneakers and marijuana quickly escalated into a violent confrontation, resulting in 2 individuals being shot and seriously injured. On October 9, 2020, 3 vehicles pulled up into a condo parking lot on 9700 East Bay Harbor Drive. First, a green McLaren and black Mercedes Maybach pulled up. These belonged to Pooh and his affiliates. Later, another Mercedes-Benz pulled up into the parking lot. What happened next would see 2 people get shot and Lontrell Donald Williams Jr., alias Pooh, end up behind bars. According to an arrest report, one of the victims said they had met the rapper at the location to sell him a pair of Air Jordan 4 shoes. The other victim said they were meeting to sell him marijuana and receive a payment for the McLaren they had rented to him. One of the victims said he was speaking with the rapper in the McLaren when 2 men got out of the Maybach and approached them with guns. Pooh told the victim to leave the car, and as he got out, he was shot in the buttocks. The other victim was walking to their own car when they heard 2 shots and fell to the ground. One of the victims then drove his friend, who had sustained a gunshot wound, to a nearby hospital. Ironically, the rapper left behind a Louis Vuitton bag full of cash. After cops investigated the incident with the help of CCTV and social media posts, arrest warrants were issued for Shiesty and 2 other suspects. Apparently, Apparently, detectives searched Shiesti's Instagram account and found photos of him posing with the McLaren, another of him with the Louis Vuitton bag, and another of him showing cash, including a $100 bill, whose serial number matched one of the bills found in the bag at the scene. The rapper later agreed to turn himself in. The entire incident was captured on surveillance footage, leaving no room for doubt about the identities of the culprits. The victims bravely came forward, positively identifying Williams as one of the individuals responsible for the shooting. This shocking incident comes barely a month after the rapper shot a security guard at a strip club.
The rapper under arrest, accused of shooting a security guard at a South Florida nightclub. Police say 22-year-old Montrell Williams, who goes by the stage name Pooh, was performing at King of Diamonds last month when someone knocked money out of his pocket. A crowd jumped in trying to collect the cash when Williams reportedly brandished a gun and shot the guard in the ankle.
According to eyewitnesses, the security staff was escorting Pooh out of the building when, out of nowhere, there was an altercation between Pooh and security staff over the money that had fallen from his pants. During the altercation, the rapper took his gun and fired off a round toward the ground, then fled the scene before cops arrived. Luckily, there were no fatalities. However, one security guard was shot in the right ankle and was taken to a nearby hospital. The rapper was later arrested after surrendering to authorities and was booked on an aggravated battery charge. Currently, the rapper is behind bars after he pleaded guilty to one federal charge of conspiracy to possess a firearm in furtherance of violent and drug trafficking crimes, which stemmed from the 2020 shooting incident, aka
Gun rapper Kiernan Jarrod Forbes, professionally known as AKA, has been reportedly shot dead in a drive-by shooting ahead of his 31st birthday party.
Kiernan Jarrod Forbes, alias AKA, was shot and killed on the 10th of February 2023. The shocking events unfolded outside a restaurant in Durban, where the rapper and his close friend, Tebelo Tibbs Matswan, were on their way to a nightclub for a performance. Born in Cape Town and raised in Johannesburg, South Africa, he is arguably one of the best rappers from South Africa. In the hours leading up to his death, the rapper had shared all his locations on Instagram, something many believe was an extremely dangerous thing to do. Less than 2 weeks after his birthday, AKA was set to perform at Yugo, a popular nightclub in Durban. Throughout the day, the rapper kept his followers updated on his whereabouts by tagging each of his locations. AKA was a kind-hearted man who loved to promote the businesses he frequented on his social media. However, that may have led to his undoing as his killers knew his every step. First, he announced that he would be performing in Durban.
Check it out now. Catch me tonight, we at Yugo, baby.
He then posted a photo showing his fans that he was about to get on a flight to Durban. Later, the rapper visited a barbershop. His last post showed that he was at Wish Restaurant. At around 10 p.m. that night, AKA and his friends were standing outside the restaurant as they prepared to leave for the club when a hooded gunman ran up to them and shot AKA in the head, while his accomplice, who was standing by AKA's car, released more shots which killed one of the rapper's friend. The two gunmen then fled the scene on foot, and AKA together with his friend were pronounced dead at the scene. Since they were never robbed, police believed that AKA had been assassinated. Suspicion started to grow as people started to speculate that Moses Tembe had something to do with the incident. Moses Tembe was the father of AKA's late fiancée, Aneli Nelly Tembe, who died under mysterious circumstances 2 years before the tragic shooting. Nelly fell to her death from the 10th floor at a hotel in Cape Town. Shortly after her death, allegations of abuse surfaced against AKA, which he denied. While hotel staff told the cops that they heard the couple arguing, the rapper insisted that Nelly jumped. It is believed that Nelly's father, a multi-millionaire, ordered the hit on AKA for his daughter's death. Moses Tembe was quick to release a statement saying, "It is with grave concern that my family and I have had to endure a flurry of posts on various social media platforms that accuse me and members of my family of being involved in the death of Kiernan AKA Forbes. These accusations are untrue and without substance. I categorically state that my family feel the pain of the Forbes family and would never be involved in an abhorrent act of this nature. Whilst I value the principle of freedom of speech, these cruel and libelous utterances inflict personal and emotional harm on us. After having to deal with the tragedy of the untimely passing of our daughter, this senseless crime has taken a further emotional toll on us. I respectfully request the individuals making these baseless statements to refrain from doing so. No arrests have ever been made in connection to the tragic shooting of AKA the baby. It all began on a seemingly ordinary Monday afternoon, November 5th, when shoppers at the Walmart in Huntersville were going about their daily routines. Little did they know that this would be a day that they would remember for the rest of their lives. As the afternoon wore on, two individuals, including the baby, found themselves in the same aisle of the store. What started as a seemingly innocent encounter quickly escalated into a heated argument. The exact details of what sparked the altercation remain unclear, but witnesses claim that tempers flared and voices grew louder. It was a powder keg waiting to explode. As the argument intensified, emotions ran high, and it became apparent that this was not going to end peacefully. The situation took a dangerous turn when the two men approached the baby, who was out shopping with his two children and their mother, one of them brandishing a firearm. That day ended with cops being called into the store and finding the body of 19-year-old Jalen Dominique Craig. The rapper alleged that Craig and his friend Henry Douglas had tried to rob him of his jewelry while brandishing a weapon and threatened his family. The rapper posted a video in which he didn't admit whether he shot a gun or was in possession of a firearm. However, he detailed the circumstances of the shooting and the gunshots that protected him. If them gunshots ain't go off, my daughter could have got hit. Son could have got hit me. Lawyers telling me not to say something and shit. All that. Two niggas walk down on you and your whole family, threaten y'all, whip out on y'all niggas. Let me see what y'all going to. According to the rapper, he was out shopping for clothes when the men approached him and started antagonizing him. These niggas see me buying baby clothes and these niggas want to come and show me how tough they is and shit. Come on, my nigga, quit playing. I really don't give a how y'all feel. A nigga tried to take my life in front of my 1-year-old daughter. At first, the rapper was arrested and charged for murder. However, the charge was dropped and he was charged with misdemeanor carrying a concealed gun without a permit and was sentenced to a suspended sentence with 12 months probation. According to the DA's office, the murder charge was dropped because a key civilian witness was unavailable, and without that witness, the state could not proceed with the case. Despite this, footage of the incident surfaced 4 years later and shows that the rapper was the aggressor as he lunged at the victim. Craig can be seen reaching for a firearm from his waistband but tucking it back in, then attempting to break up the fight between the rapper and Douglas. 4 years earlier, the rapper had told police that Craig and Douglas initiated the fight, saying the pair had been lurking nearby before finally approaching him, threatening him and pulling out a firearm. But according to Douglas, who traded punches with the rapper, the incident began after DaBaby became annoyed that he had been recognized by Douglas and Craig, and he demanded they go outside into the parking lot and fight. After the video surfaced and caused outrage, the DA's office responded by saying that they had agreed not to charge the rapper as prosecutors could not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he did not act in self-defense. DaBaby took to Twitter to react to the video, saying, "The nigga praying on me can't f with the people praying for me, Chef G." On the 6th of April 2021, Chef G and the gang decided to make an example out of someone who had snitched on them, as the rapper confirmed that he would be getting a rental the next day to carry out the hit. Throughout the night, the gang discussed their mission. They soon found out that a former member of their gang called Champ had given out their location to their ops, leading to an attack. In a sudden twist of events the next day, Chef G revealed that he would join them on the revenge mission. Gang leaders were never directly involved in doing the dirty work. Perhaps Chef G wanted to prove a point to his soldiers. Well, his bravado would soon put him in hot water. As if taking part in the hit was not dangerous enough, the rapper made yet another blunder that day. He rented out a black Jeep Trackhawk, which was registered in his name. This was the car that was used in the attack. With New York full of CCTV cameras and the gang carrying out their hit during the day, it would not take long for cops to locate the vehicle and trace it back to Chef G. The drill rapper picked up Olivel Martinez, Tony Darden, and Kenrick Austrie at around 4 p.m. and drove around Brooklyn. The group hit the jackpot as they saw Champ on Church Avenue. Chef G parked the vehicle nearby as the three others exited the vehicle. The three walked down the street and opened fire at their target. They then ran back to the car, which sped off. Champ was lucky as he escaped the ordeal without any gunshot wounds. However, two innocent bystanders were not so lucky as they were shot. Fortunately, they both survived. The first victim was a 43-year-old woman who can be seen in this video walking with an elderly person, while the second victim was a 53-year-old man who can be seen painfully holding his arm. Security cameras all over the city captured the vehicle as it raced to a secluded place where the gang dumped it. The rapper crossed into the borough of Manhattan and parked the car at 481 Washington Street. They all scattered as the rapper called an Uber to go back to New Jersey. He would later text Olivel Martinez and tell him to wipe the car off anything that would incriminate them. Chef seemed to forget that the car was registered under his name and the cops could easily trace it back to him. Even more weird is the fact that they forgot to wipe off the car before they abandoned it, and they put one of their gang members in harm's way by telling them to go back to the getaway car, Lil Durk. In 2019, Durk was arrested for allegedly shooting at Alexander Weatherspoon in Atlanta. His arrest was full of drama, as he even called a TV station to declare that he would be turning himself over to the authorities and declaring his innocence.
You're about to surrender as we speak.
Yeah.
How come?
Because I have nothing to hide. Like, I have nothing to run from.
Did you do it? Did you shoot this man? Did you commit the other crimes of which you're accused?
No.
King Von and Bezu were also arrested in connection to the shooting, and it turns out that the rappers had robbed Alexander Weatherspoon of a gold chain and $30,000 before shooting him. Apart from that, they also stole the victim's vehicle. The two rappers were charged with attempted murder, aggravated assault, and street gang activities, among other charges. All the evidence seemed to point to Lil Durk, from CCTV footage of him firing the weapon to witnesses on the scene saying they saw him with a weapon. Jeffrey Churchill, a detective from the Atlanta Police Department, took to the stand where he revealed that he had spoken with a witness who was with the two rappers the night of the shooting. According to the female witness, a fight broke out in a car that was in front of them. She then saw Durk pull out a firearm, which forced her to run around the building, where she heard shots fired. She later saw the victim in a pool of blood. However, she never saw who fired the shots. The most damning evidence against Lil Durk was CCTV footage that showed Durk's hand sticking out of the SUV and firing his weapon at Weatherspoon.
You see Mr. Banks' arm out the window firing several shots at the victim.
However, Durk's defense was on hand to challenge the video evidence. According to the rapper's lawyer, the CCTV footage did not show the rapper pulling the trigger. Apart from that, the defense team argued that Weatherspoon had a gun and their clients were defending themselves. According to the authorities, the rappers may have shot the victim because of gang affiliation. While Von and Durk were part of the infamous Black Disciples gang, Weatherspoon was affiliated with the Vice Lords. A Chicago police captain even flew in for the hearing. He told the court both were documented members of the notorious Black Disciples. Luckily, the case was later dropped and the rapper was cleared of all charges. At this time, Von had been killed in a tragic shooting outside a club in Atlanta. It turns out that it may have been Von who shot Alexander Weatherspoon that morning. A statement from the DA's office revealed that Von would have been charged if he was still alive. While Durk's name was cleared by the courts, the streets did not seem eager to accept this fact. Many thought that he had either snitched on Von or passed the blame on his late friend. Since Von was not here to defend himself, Durk was let off the hook. However, with no paperwork, it is impossible to know exactly whether Durk passed the blame or snitched on Von Indian Red Boy. On July 8, 2021, a day that will forever be etched in the memory of Indian Red Boy's fans and loved ones, tragedy struck in the form of a cold-blooded murder in the Hawthorne neighborhood of LA. The vibrant and promising life of Zarel Rivera was abruptly cut short in a brazen daylight attack while he was live streaming on Instagram with his friend and fellow rapper Baby Capone when the tragic incident happened. The details of that fateful day sent shockwaves through the music community and left a void that can never be filled. As the 21-year-old rapper sat in his car, which was parked on 14100 block of Chadron Avenue, chatting happily with his friend, a gunman approached the vehicle. As the conversation continued, the atmosphere suddenly shifted. The sound of gunshots shattered the tranquility of the moment, sending the rapper into a panic. In a desperate attempt to shield himself from the hail of bullets, he instinctively covered his head with his arms. The shock and fear in his eyes were palpable as the reality of the situation unfolded before the viewer's eyes. However, 3 of the 12 shots hit him in the head. He is then seen gasping for breath seconds after shots are heard ringing out. As the shots continued to ring out, Rivera's pleas for help became more desperate. He mouthed the word help repeatedly to the camera, his eyes filled with fear and desperation. In a hushed whisper, he uttered the words, "I'm in Hawthorne," as if hoping that someone would come to his aid. But tragically, there was no rescue, no reprieve from the violence that was unfolding. In a heart-wrenching turn of events, Rivera dropped his camera, bringing the live stream to an abrupt end. The silence that followed was deafening, leaving viewers in a state of shock and disbelief. The reality of what had just transpired began to sink in, and the devastating truth became apparent. Indian Red Boy, a young talent with a promising future, had been brutally murdered. The Los Angeles County Fire Department said Rivera was already dead when they arrived at the crime scene. According to the Hawthorne Police Department, the rapper's death seemed to be associated with gang violence. It is possible that the killer was from the area and may have recognized where the rapper was through the Instagram live stream. A lot of chatter in the streets suggested that the rapper had been killed for disrespecting Nipsey Hussle's mural. Interestingly, Baby Capone, the friend Red Boy was live with, is widely believed to be the one who defaced the mural. Nipsey was loved by the community, and his death on March 31st, 2019 came as a shock to many since he did not have beef with anyone. Nipsey was shot at least 10 times in the parking lot of his store, Marathon Clothing, in South Central Los Angeles by Eric Ronald Holder, Jr. After his death, many people paid homage to him, including Barack Obama, as well as the former president of Iran, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. Within a few months, over 50 murals dedicated to the rapper were painted in the city of Los Angeles. With the kind of love the rapper was shown following his death, even from world leaders, it may be possible that Red Boy was killed because of disrespecting Nipsey's mural. This theory was confirmed when rapper The Game posted a video shortly after the shooting, spitting bars that alluded to Red Boy getting shot over Nipsey's mural. In the video, he raps, "Disrespecting Nip, the type of shit you niggas get killed for. We're not gonna stand for the disrespect." After fans picked this up, the rapper went on an Instagram live stream to apologize for bars he spit in the video he shared. In an attempt to clear his name completely, Game shared via his Instagram that he donated $5,000 to the GoFundMe page that had been launched for Indian Red Boy. With no one coming forward to claim the body years later, we may never know why the rapper was killed. XXXTENTACION. It was a sunny day in Deerfield Beach, Florida, when the rapper found himself in the wrong place at the wrong time. Leaving the Riva Motorsports store, the rapper was approached by two armed suspects. Without warning, at least one of them opened fire, unleashing a hail of bullets upon XXXTENTACION. On the 18th of June 2018, as the rapper was driving away from Riva Motorsports, his car was blocked off by a black SUV, and two men jumped out to rob him. The aftermath of the robbery was the death of the prolific rapper. Before visiting the dealership earlier that day, Jose Dwayne Ricardo Onfroy stopped by Bank of America to withdraw cash. At 3:30 in the afternoon, the rapper and his uncle went into Riva Motorsports. A dark-colored SUV pulled up into the dealership a short while after the rapper and his uncle. Dedrick Williams, Robert Allen, Michael Boatwright, and Trayvon Newsom were in the SUV. Later during the trial, Allen confessed that the four had planned to rob people that day, and when they saw the rapper, he became their target. Surveillance video from inside the showroom revealed that suspects Allen and Williams walked inside the dealership, where they bought ski masks for their operation. Once inside, they confirmed their target and set their evil plan into action. After waiting for half an hour, the rapper and his uncle walked out of the dealership and got into his black BMW. CCTV footage captured the SUV driving in front of the rapper's car, trapping him. Newsom and Boatwright exited the vehicle and demanded his chain and Louis Vuitton bag. During the scuffle, the attackers allegedly stole the rapper's designer bag and chain. Luckily, his uncle got out of the car during the altercation and ran to safety. Although the robbery was over, Boatwright allegedly walked back 1 or 2 feet away from the rapper's vehicle, grabbed his gun, and fired 6 shots, killing him. Authorities were immediately alerted, and the Broward County Sheriff's Department launched a manhunt for the perpetrators. The investigation revealed that the incident appeared to be a possible robbery, adding another layer of tragedy to this senseless act of violence. However, despite the swift response from law enforcement and the efforts of medical professionals, the rapper was pronounced dead upon arrival at a nearby hospital. The news of his untimely demise spread like wildfire, leaving fans, friends, and fellow artists in a state of shock and mourning. Interestingly, cops were able to arrest the suspects thanks to Instagram posts. The authorities were able to link several separate sets of CCTV footage featuring similar bright orange footwear worn by one of the attackers to recent posts on Williams' Instagram account. After all 4 suspects were arrested, the authorities were able to get one of them, Robert Allen, to testify against the others, especially since he did not play a major role in the robbery and murder. The 3 were found guilty of first-degree murder and robbery with a deadly weapon. Each of them was handed down 2 life sentences. The rapper's Instagram posts were deleted save for one photo. The post is an upside-down photo of the rapper with the caption, "Love is War." The post has garnered more than 30 million likes and 10 million comments. It is the 12th most liked photo on Instagram and has the 2nd most comments on the platform. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.